Good evening, everyone. So it is June the 12th at 9:51 p.m. We have had a couple of more questions, and Eve is going to answer uh, two of the three we have received. Um, Oddly, I can't find them now. They were under YouTube comments, but I think I remember them enough that we can begin. Um, the first the first two questions were about the pandemic and was asking what are the chances that there will be another pandemic and will the vaccinations that everyone's getting now, will that wipe this one out? So let's begin. Yes. Now, the question of whether there will be another pandemic, the answer is most assuredly yes, there will be. We cannot necessarily tell you when that will happen. It may be sooner, it may be later. But if you look through your history, you will see that the human race has faced this type of challenge many, many times. For example, to take just a few, you had the Ebola virus, you had the one in the Middle Ages, bubonic plague. Yes, I believe that's what it was called. Um, and some smaller ones that may or may not be considered a pandemic, but certainly were extremely dangerous at the time, such as smallpox. Throughout history, these things have occurred and are likely to continue to occur. Um, you would say probably a minimum of once a century, sometimes more than that. Now, why does such a thing happen? And there are a few reasons for this. Not only what humans do that may affect on the physical plane the mutation of certain viruses or the creation of certain things through, say, chemical warfare, but also because you must remember that the earth itself is very much alive. All things that you perceive have consciousness to some degree, from the tiniest atom to the largest universe. And the Mother Earth, as you call her, is no exception. She will occasionally have to, how shall we say, clean house. And she also goes through, um, we would say, periods of rises and declines in her own consciousness, and these can be physically manifest. Now, we would like you to remember that the earth, just as you as physical persons, is not simply one thing. She is, and we call her she because that seems to be a bit of a custom among physical peoples, but she is herself, the earth, the crust of the earth, the magma underneath the earth, the waters, the oceans, the continents. But she is also the trees, the rocks, the animals that live upon her, and you as humans are included in that. So once again, you are looking at a gestalt, not just one entity, not just to say this is the earth, and upon the earth we have these viruses that are designed to kill us. Well, they're not designed to kill you, even though they may have that effect, but they are designed, as are all living things, to survive to the best of their ability. And in the course of survival, some may have to lose their lives. Now, this is true in basically most living things. You have the food chain where whether it is a plant or another animal, most living things live off of other living things, and viruses are no exceptions. So there is a constant interplay among all living things between what survives and flourishes and what does not. Now, you also have the animals and plants which may die out, so to speak, may become extinct. So there are often um, life forms that become extinct, but there are also life forms that spring into being. And so a new discovery may be a life form that has only recently come into existence. Um, and all of this is combined into one great living thing. Now, in the course of life, you find that there are diseases that not only affect human beings, but there are diseases that affect animals, and there are diseases that affect plants and insects, and on and on. And so this is a part of the physical experience. So we cannot say to you, no, there will never be another pandemic, for there will be. Whether it is in your lifetime or not is dependent again upon the choices that are made in mass by those living today. And in the case of certain things, such as this virus, there also comes into play what the animal species will desire. For as you know, this particular virus may have sprung from animals, but whether it did or not, it can certainly affect animals. It does not seem to affect animals as much as human beings, but it can be transmitted to them. And there are many cases of animals that have contracted this virus. So again, you see that it is a shared experience. Now, the second part of this question was whether the vaccinations will wipe this out. And we will have to say to you, no. They will not, although the vaccines will go a long way toward mitigating the damage, toward lessening the amount of people that contract it. But as you know, whenever someone accepts such a disease, that is their choice, and that choice is made on many levels. Already you see that there are countries that do not have enough vaccine and that are having difficulty controlling this virus. And then even in the countries that have lots of vaccine and could easily vaccinate everybody in their country, there are those who do not wish to receive it. They may tell you it is for fear of certain side effects. They may say it is for political reasons, but the fact of the matter is they do not wish to receive it because they wish to place themselves in the position of risk. In other words, they wish to allow themselves to continue to make a decision as to whether or not they are going to become ill or pass based on this virus. So we hope that this answers your question. We understand that this is a short video, but the next one, which is going to relate to the question of pets and the transitions that pets make, will be quite a bit longer, so we do not wish to start it right now. So we wish you all a fine good evening. And again, if you have further questions, please submit them to this one, and we will do our best to answer them. Okay, I'm going to watch this and then I'm going to post it.